Well, that's the first. Little chick has decided he's going to sit on the dog rather than by him. I don't know if he's actually stuck. I think he probably is. Can you get out there, little one, or not? No? You are silly. Yes, you are. Perhaps we better release you from your... get out of one prison and end up getting in another. Although I can't get round there. I'll have to come around the other side. Right, where are you? Come on then. Oh dear. You want to sit like that, do you? Okay. There you are. Comfy now? Yeah? You can get out if you want. Yeah, little sweetie. Yeah. I've put little person, the one that was the wrong way up in the egg, in the box, because he was crashing around in the incubator. He wasn't opening his eyes, he was just rushing around aimlessly. He fell on his back twice, threw himself over on his back twice. And he wasn't very happy at all, so I've put him in the small box. He's a lot happier in there. He's opening his eyes now, and he's drying out very nicely, but he's a lot calmer. And he hasn't thrown himself on his back, so he's a lot happier. How about you, little person? Yeah, you're getting stronger by the second, aren't you? Yep. So, he'll be alright, I think. I don't think he'll have a problem. Now these two, that one hasn't progressed much, but then he won't do because he hasn't been pipped for that long. That one's been pipped for longer, and he's getting there. He's gradually going round. Whether he'll do what the first one did and stay like that for 2 or 3 hours and then suddenly work his way around, not, who knows, but he's progressed a little. So I'll keep my eye on him. I think they're both very wet, but they're doing alright. Okay. Well, I've just done the feed round, come in, and he's out. She's out, it's out. So, brilliant. Again, that looks a bit wet, but came out on its own. No worries. So, excellent, super. Another one. Bless his little cotton socks. Oh, I'm real pleased. Missed that one though. That one is being encouraged by that one now. Moving. So, not throwing himself about. He's stuck to the membrane too. Never mind. They'll soon dry and move away from it. He's just rolled that one, but never mind. Good, super. It's rather unfortunate, but the one that hatched about 2 hours ago, unfortunately, was having an absolute fit in there, and crashed. He's very strong, and he's quite a big chick. Crashed into this egg and smashed him against the side of the incubator and knocked a massive chunk, as you can see, 2 bits there, a massive chunk off the shell, off his shell, and he is nowhere near ready. He's got an awful lot of blood vessels going on. I did very quickly take him out and candle the other end of him, and there looks to be an awful lot of yolk still to be absorbed. On tapping the narrow part of the egg, it sounds reasonably hollow, but not hollow enough. Not the same sound at all as tapping what's left of his air pocket there, which is extremely hollow sounding. So I don't think he's going to survive now, because he's too exposed. From a small hole he just had there on where his beak is, his chest is now all exposed. The humidity is fairly good, that's 70, 73, but as I say, he's nowhere near. I've never known that happen before, ever. In all the eggs that I've hatched, I have never known an egg be catapulted to quite the extent that he was catapulted, and you know, the shell to be collapsed like that massive great hole. He's certainly not ready to hatch at all. I took the opportunity to candle this egg as well, and it is still alive. I think again it's the wrong way round, although the air pocket looks quite as it should do, but he looks quite collapsed, but I can't see any shape of a beak ready to pip, but it is still moving. I did see it move, which was the first time I've seen it move in 48 hours, so there's still hope for that one, but not a lot, and I don't think there's a lot of hope for this little one either. So it'll be an all-night vigil again for me to keep an eye on him and see where he's going. But this breathing through the mouth bothers me. I don't like that. I don't know if his beak and nose was damaged. You know, the breathing part of his nose was damaged when he went smacking into the side there. I mean, they're not the best. They've got these lines where you put the bars when you've got the automatic turner on, but you know, if his beak went in between one of those and that part of the shell was smashed off like that, because it was just hanging, and it sort of fell off as the other chick just crashed around. It was hanging and then just fell off. It's horrible. There was absolutely nothing I could do about it. Absolutely nothing I could do about it. I watched it happen, but there's nothing I could do. So that's a real shame and very disappointing, and there's still nothing I can do about it. Just like everything else around here, wait and see. But I have put obviously the chicken in the box now, otherwise he was going to end up killing this one, I think, if he hasn't already done so. So we got the two in the box. The smaller one is the one that was the wrong way round the egg. This one here getting up, and the bigger one is the one that hatched a couple of hours ago that I've removed before he kills his brother or sister, and that's the other little person fluffing up nicely and very strong. So look at these two, are quite happy like that. Can dry out together and fluff up together. The little one that was the wrong way round in the egg, he's quite strong now. He's going to be fine. Absolutely fine. Good. Now you're not going to get in the box with them, you. No, you're not. They're not coming out either, because you'll just peck their feet or peck their eyes or do whatever. They're not strong enough yet to cope with big bruisers like you, my boy. No, they're not. So, there we are. Well, it's 20 to 1 in the morning. Don't know if this storm's going to hit or not. But we've got an absolute hurricane blowing. I've just tried to... Oh, what the earth was that? Just tried to get out to take the tarps and everything down that I have for shade for turkeys, and I not only got a face full of dust and was blinded, but I couldn't stand up in it. It's absolutely horrific. So here we go again. You can't actually see the wisteria there flapping. Well, there's the lightning. Absolutely awful. I've battened down the hatches in the shed. Yesterday I'm not going to fence left tomorrow, I can see that coming. Because the tarp's tied to the fence, so that's just going to get the fence out. Can you hear that? Absolute hurricane. Absolutely frightening. And the kids have gone out for the evening, so I can't even get one of them to come out and help me. But you can't see it on this video camera, but every now and again there's like a haze that comes over and that's all the dust, earth being blown like a sandstorm. But tonight I didn't shut the stable sliding door off completely, and the wind's coming from that direction, so they're going to be blasted to smithereens. And I'd very much like to get out there and go and do it, but I'm not going out there being here on my own just in case something should come flying from somewhere and hit me. The kids will never know, so they won't know where to find me. So I've got to wait for one of them to, well, both of them to come home, to come out with me to assist. Just try and get this tarp down as well, 2 tarps down before they cause more damage than that. But you can't just storm here or rain here. We've got to be terribly theatrical and have hurricanes and hailstones the size of your head and thunder and lightning that goes on for 16 hours and rain that falls horizontally and beats everything to death. You know, it's a joke. But you can blow the roof off if it likes. I claim the insurance, you can do that, but it won't do that. It won't do something useful like that. It'll just damage everything else. What the hell was that? It was a bird. What the hell was a bird doing flying at this time of night? It wasn't a bat, it was a bird. But no, this is not pleasant at all. I hate the wind, it petrifies the life out of me. Well, the wind, as you can see, has dropped an awful lot, and I did go out alone. I phoned my kids and told them to stay where they were because it really wasn't safe. You know, there have been trees down, God knows what, in the road, because they haven't got the storm where they are at the moment. And I did go out because I could hear the tarp that I've got for moored for shade crashing around out there. I couldn't actually see it in the reflection of the window, but I could hear it, and I thought, this is ridiculous, I've got to take it down, to take the fence down. And the other bit of blue tarpaulin I've got for shade by the shed, I thought that's going to rip the shed out. Oh, here comes the wind again. So amongst thunder and lightning every 2 seconds crashing all around me, I'm messing about with a tarp that is blowing in my face and trying to take off with me, trying to unhook it from the fence, and I'm absolutely petrified of the wind. I just had a shower and washed my hair. It was like trying to work in a sandstorm because all the earth dust was being blown off the field straight into my face. I couldn't see what I was doing. I have never been so scared in my life. I shut the dogs in. I didn't even have them with me, which I normally do if I've got to go out in the dark, and at night I'll take the dogs with me, but I shut them in because they were petrified. So there I was in my night gear with lightning all around, thunder, hurricane force winds, trying to get a damn great white tarp unhooked from the caravan and the fence and everything else, being lifted up as it's being blown. And I was very calm. I thought, just concentrate what you're doing, dear. Just unhook it, untie it. Doesn't matter if it wraps around everything. You can unwrap it and put it in the caravan and put down the other thing. And then there's a great bolt of lightning, sort of about, I don't know, 150 metres or so away from me. It landed in the field. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die. And then it just all stopped. Nothing. And we've got a little bit of lightning going on over there, but nothing to write home about. But the wind stopped, the thunder stopped, the lightning stopped, as if someone had flicked a switch. And I thought, why did I bother? But my hair was dry. In about 30 seconds my hair was dry, but it was being wrenched off my head, literally. And I couldn't see what the hell I was doing because it was all in my face. But there we are, and it's just beginning to spit with rain. But it's going to evaporate before it's even hit the ground. I've got 36 degrees in the kitchen. I've had to open this window because I was dying. So were the chicks. Absolutely ridiculous temperatures, but oh, it might actually get some rain. Oh, I've got to shut the window because it's coming in. It's being blown in. So let's just hope it torrents down after all that kerfuffle and does some good. but it probably won't. Just to be aggravating. And it's pouring. What a wonderful sound. I never thought I would be so thrilled to hear rain. My poor tree that you can't see because it won't pick it up, this camera, but it's dead. All the apple trees are dropping their apples, the plum trees have dropped all their plums. So much for me making apple cider vinegar, but it's raining. It needs to rain like this for about 4 hours, I think, for it to do any good. But it's better than nothing. Brilliant. It's now 2:30 in the morning, and I've got to stay up now just in case we have a power cut. Because generally the storms here, they go round and you think they've gone, and then an hour or so later they come back with a vengeance, and fourfold to what they were the first time round. I'm getting soaked standing here while the rain's driving in. Why did I bother to have a shower? I might as well just kind of stood out in it with a bar of soap and been done with it. But yeah, so I've got that one in the incubator, still not ready to hatch, or anywhere near ready to hatch. The other one alive but not doing anything, and the 3 babies in the box brooding. So yeah, if we have a power cut, I'm going to be a bit mismothered, I think. But got my torches ready. I've got batteries on charge just in case. I've got candles ready. I've made myself another cup of tea. So yeah, it's going to be an all-nighter. I just hope it rains all night, and I should be well pleased. So let's keep your fingers crossed we don't get a power cut. At least I won't have that horror to have to deal with as well. But never mind, it's raining. Brilliant. Amazing how little things please little minds. I just had a horrible thought. I thought, oh my god, the wind's probably blown the pipes off me water butt. Well, this one, I've got one round by the stables there, a big one. I think it's 5,000 litres. That's got about 3 inches of water left in it, and it's green and it's disgusting and absolutely reeks. And I quickly opened the window and thought, oh, I can hear it running into the bar. Oh, wonderful. What a wonderful sound. Well, the 4th one is now in the box. The ones whose shell was collapsed by the 3rd one when he went crashing round and smacked him against the side of the incubator. He was in a hell of a state last night. I left him for about another 4 hours, and I couldn't see any more viable blood vessels because they were all a bit wet in the egg anyway, and the membrane was pink with visible blood vessels in it, but just pink. You know, they weren't running blood vessels, they were just the aftermath of them, where they hadn't dried out enough, where they're just too wet and full of jelly and disgusting and horrible sticky stuff. And I took a bit more shell off just to make absolutely certain, and there were no viable blood vessels pumping or doing anything. It was just the pink residue of them. But he wasn't going anywhere, he wasn't doing anything, he was still breathing through his mouth from time to time. And when I started to take the shell off and try to get the outer membrane off his head, so to try and encourage him out of the egg on his own, he absolutely screamed. And I mean screamed, I've never had anything like it in my life. And I thought, he's telling me not to touch him, does he hurt? What's his problem? Is he injured? Did the other one, when they smacked him into the side of the incubator, give him brain damage or what? I didn't know what on earth to think. So I left him for another few hours. As soon as I put him in the incubator and he'd been in there, I suppose 10-15 minutes, he'd actually stopped screaming, but he wasn't moving at all. He wasn't doing anything except his beak. That was the only thing that was moving. So I left him about another 2 or 3 hours. And at 4 o'clock this morning I thought, this is ridiculous, he's just going to die. So I took a bit more shell off, just the very top, just where the air pocket was. That's all I took off. I did release the outer membrane from his head, and I released the inner membrane from his head so he could breathe properly. And I thought, well, if he does struggle, he will eventually fall out. But not thinking for 1 minute he would fall out as easy as he did. Anyway, I then went and had a doze on the sofa for about 10 minutes, and then heard the most horrendous scream again, which was him. So I come flying out here, And there he was, out of the egg. He just catapulted himself out of the shell. He hadn't broken any more off, nothing. He just literally fallen out of the hole that I'd made for him. And the reason being he was able to do that is because he's so tiny. So the voids that I could see in the shell at the bottom of the shell wasn't yolk, it was jelly and not chick. He was right up at the top of the egg, obviously, and there was an inch of space below. For the size of egg that he came out of, he is an extremely small chick, so I don't know what on earth's going on there. But anyway, he was out, he was soaked, he was covered in sticky jelly, so I just picked him straight out, and he was screaming. Picked him straight out of the incubator, put him against my chest and went and laid on the sofa with him, and had another hour or so doze. He did stop screaming. As soon as he felt my body heat, he stopped screaming, so that was that. And I say he's been on the box now for a couple of hours. He stopped making dreadful noises, even though he wasn't screaming continuously. Every time he chirped, he didn't chirp, he screamed, but like that, just like that, he kept doing that. He stopped doing that after a couple of hours. He stopped laying on his side and just swimming with his legs like he was doing in the incubator, just laying there motionless except for his legs and screaming. And he was trying to get an uneven kill, so I kept moving him around to get him sort of level, so his head was sort of facing mine and his bottom was down, but at least he was on his chest, so rather than on his side. And he's been in the box a couple of hours, I'll say now, and he's doing very, very well. He's strong. He's standing now. Just his feet are fine. Well, he wasn't struggling, so there's no reason to think that his hips or his feet are going to be weak or have a problem there. But I think his beak did come into contact at great force with the side of the incubator, and that's why he was like he was. I think he was sort of temporarily brain damaged. He may still be brain damaged. It might not be one of those things that heals. You know, his beak would have been rammed up into his skull, so it may be permanent. He is beginning to open his eyes now, which is a good thing, but he's still wandering around most of the time in the box there with his eyes tightly shut, so I'm not too happy about that. But the other one did that, the one that was the wrong way up on the egg. He was wandering around with his eyes shut too, so in the box. But he is communicating with the others, he is interacting with the others. They come up to see him and he has a look at them, and well, with one eye or half an open eye. So he's slightly more normal now than he was 2 or 3 hours ago. So just hope that he continues. He'll pop out the box when he's ready. Like, he can stand there as long as he likes. I'll give the others a bit of a feed tonight. I'll do some boiled egg for them. I doubt he'll be out of the box then. He may be, who knows. But the other egg in there, the 4th egg, I candled that 3 times last night and once this morning, and I haven't seen it move again. So I think the movement I saw yesterday afternoon was its death throes. The egg doesn't look very good internally. It looks sort of all misty and peculiar, so I think he's dead, and I think he's a long way up too, in which case he would have drowned. So no hope there, I don't think. And so that's it for the hatching this year, although I think the female turkey that I've been waiting to go broody for the last month and a half has finally gone broody, in which case I shall have to go to the neighbours and ask if he's got some fertile chicken eggs, because I'm not going to waste her. That's like giving me an excuse to keep her alive and not have to kill her, and I can just put the 2 boys in a stable together and kill them off when everything cools down, if it ever cools down, and I have some more chickens. I certainly don't want any more pintards, guinea fowl, sorry. And it only rained about 20 minutes last night. The water butt out here is 3/4 full, but the one round by the stable has only got about 6 inches in it now, so pretty useless. It did some good, but not enough. It needed to rain for 3 or 4 hours for it to have done any real good. But a little bit is better than none at all. Things have cooled down a little, but by this afternoon they'll probably be raging 40-degree temperatures again. So, but there's a cool breeze, so that's more bearable. So there we are. So that ends the hatching for this year, apart from the turkey if she is in fact broody. And now it's just a case of growing them on, finishing them, and selling some and putting the rest in the freezer. And that'll be the end of that for another year. Right. The Rudy pigeon drinking my tea. Am I allowed nothing in my life? Not even allowed a mug of tea. Now I've got to give that to the dogs.